The rain fell in endless sheets over Thailand's Nakhon Nayok province, a steady drumbeat from the heavens that blurred the horizon and swallowed the sounds of the forest. The monsoon season had arrived in full force, bringing days of ceaseless downpours that turned once solid ground into rivers of mud. For humans, it meant flooded streets and days spent indoors. For animals, it was a dangerous time, when every step could conceal hidden perils beneath the waterlogged earth. On the morning of July 13th, the storm showed no signs of mercy. Clouds hung low and heavy, and the wind carried with it a damp chill that seeped into the bones. In the heart of the forest, a mother elephant and her young calf trudged through the muck. Their great gray bodies glistened with rainwater, rivulets trickling down their thick hides. The mother's eyes scanned the path ahead, her trunk swaying as she searched for food among the dripping foliage. The calf, playful despite the weather, occasionally nudged her side or splashed in the shallow puddles along the trail. But danger was closer than either of them realized. Hidden by the rain and the dense greenery lay a man-made pit, a deep trench dug into the earth, perhaps for construction or drainage, its vertical walls slick with mud. The heavy rain had softened the ground around it into a slippery trap. As the elephants drew near, the calf, distracted by the surroundings, wandered too close to the edge. It happened in an instant. One misplaced step. The calf's small feet slid forward on the rain-slick clay, and before it could cry out, gravity claimed it. With a thud, it tumbled into the pit, landing awkwardly in the mud at the bottom. The calf's frightened trumpet split the air, echoing upward in desperation. The mother's head whipped around. She let out a deafening call and rushed to the edge, peering down at her trapped baby. The pit was far too deep for the calf to climb out on its own. The mother extended her trunk into the hole, straining to reach, her massive body leaning dangerously forward. But no matter how she angled herself, her trunk couldn't quite touch the calf. She began to dig with her feet, trying to break the edge of the pit, but the saturated soil collapsed beneath her weight. The harder she worked, the more treacherous the ground became. Rain streamed down her face, mixing with the mud that clung to her legs. Still, she refused to stop. She called again and again, her voice carrying into the distance, a sound so raw that it pulled at the heart. It was that call that reached a nearby village. Several residents, alarmed by the repeated trumpeting, ran toward the source. What they found made them freeze in place. A frantic mother elephant circling a pit, her movements wild and defensive, while a calf cried from below. Any attempt to get close was met with an aggressive charge, her ears flared and trunk swinging. She would let no one near her baby. The villagers, realizing they could do nothing alone, phoned the local wildlife authorities. Within the hour, a veterinary rescue team arrived, their truck skidding slightly on the muddy road as it pulled up. The veterinarians took one look at the scene and knew this was going to be far from easy. The mother's agitation, the depth of the pit, and the unceasing rain had turned the situation into a race against time. The first step was to calm the mother enough to attempt a rescue. But despite their careful approach, the team could not ease her fear. Every movement toward the pit was met with aggressive trumpeting and stomping. Realizing they needed heavy equipment, they called for a crane to assist in lifting the calf out. When the crane arrived, its loud engine only heightened the mother's distress. The veterinarians exchanged glances. There was only one option left. They would have to tranquilize her. From a safe distance, they prepared the darts and fired. The first injection slowed her slightly, but not enough. A second dart followed, then a third. Gradually, her movements became sluggish. Her breathing grew heavier. She stayed near the pit, swaying slightly, still trying to reach her calf, even as the drugs took hold. And then, tragedy struck. The rain had made the earth into a slick, unstable slope. As she leaned forward one last time, her back feet slipped. Her massive body lurched forward, and before the rescuers could react, she fell. The thud of her weight hitting the pit's floor shook the ground. Her head struck the wall with a sickening sound, and she lay still. A stunned silence followed, broken only by the calf's panicked cries. 2 lives were now in jeopardy. The rescuers acted on instinct. Orders were shouted over the rain. Ropes were lowered, the crane's bucket positioned for extraction. But working in the cramped, mud-slicked space was nearly impossible. It took precious minutes to loop the ropes under her massive forelegs. The crane strained under her weight, the cables creaking, but at last she was hoisted slowly upward, her limp form swinging gently in the air. When they laid her on the ground above, a vet checked her vitals, and the words that followed made everyone's heart drop. Her hearts stopped. The baby elephant below screamed louder, thrashing in the pit, trying desperately to climb out. It was chaos, two emergencies happening at once. The rescuers stripped the ropes from the mother's body and injected her with medication to jumpstart her heart. No response. They turned to CPR, the only chance she had. But performing chest compressions on a creature weighing several tons was a task beyond ordinary human strength. One of the strongest team members climbed onto her chest and began pushing down with all his might. Another joined him, the two working together in rhythm, mud flying from their boots. Meanwhile, others fought to free the calf. The crane's bucket dug into the pit wall, carving a slope. The calf, covered in mud, scrambled to climb, slipping again and again. It seemed hopeless, until, with a final heave, it pulled itself over the lip of the pit and staggered forward. Without hesitation, it ran straight to its mother, pressing its head to her side and refusing to move. The rescuers had to work around the calf, whose cries only grew louder. They kept pressing on the mother's chest, each second feeling longer than the last. And then it happened. Her massive chest shifted under their hands. A faint, shaky breath escaped her trunk. The rescuers froze for a heartbeat, then continued with renewed determination. Her breaths grew stronger, her eyes fluttered open, and she let out a low rumble. The calf responded instantly, trumpeting in joy and circling her. The rescuers stepped back, relief washing over them like the rain itself. Slowly, shakily, the mother rose to her feet. She leaned her trunk down to touch her calf, a gesture of reassurance that needed no words. The team stayed with them for over an hour, ensuring both were stable. Finally, they guided the pair toward the forest's edge. The rain had eased to a drizzle, and the air was thick with the scent of wet earth. As they reached the tree line, the calf stopped and turned back toward the humans who had fought for them. It raised its trunk high and let out one final trumpet, loud, clear, and filled with something that felt like gratitude. It was more than just a rescue. It was a testament to the strength of a mother's love, the dedication of those who refuse to give up, and the extraordinary miracles that can happen when compassion meets determination. Please don't forget to like this video, turn on notifications, and subscribe for more incredible true stories like this one.